Hello. How are we doing tonight, everybody? Let me know down in the chat how we sounding. What are we giving that race out of 10? We will put the bottom line on in a moment. We'll read through the finishing order and all of that. But how do I sound? How do I look? Crispy audio? Audio needs fixed. Fucking shocker. I don't know what's up because I have the normal mic on. Hold on. How about now? Any better now? Let me know. And while we're at it, I'm looking in the chat at what you guys think, and there's positive and negative each way. So some are saying I was fine. All right, let's good. Let's go. We got 88 out of 10, 4, 7, 7, 8. You know what I think that race was? That race was belt. There's no effect in that. Belt to ass. I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen beat the living hell out of the NASCAR Cup Series field. Absolutely destroyed him. Rugby kicked him into the stands. Whichever way you want to go about saying it, SVG did. By the way, poll is up on the community tab. If you want to vote on what you thought about this race in Mexico, I will give you my thoughts in a moment. But let's go over this race. Let's talk about the finishing order, stats, all that good stuff. This race was the 2025 Viva Mexico 250, 100 laps, 6 cautions for 16 laps, 14 lead changes, 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 4 seconds. The gap or the runtime, and SVG took it easy the last lap based on what you could see on there. I'm echoing now. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I swear I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Give me Y for yes, N for no. Is the audio all right? Because I'm seeing people say it's not, and if people are pranking on it, you guys can get them. Because like I want to talk about this race because it was a 16.5-second win. Just absolute insanity. I'm looking back, so I have the raw data up on NASCAR.com right now. And it's actually kind of insane just how far back everybody is from him. It's absolutely insane. So I want to read this off to you guys. I kind of as we go, I'm gonna certain checkpoints just tell you guys how far back these guys finished. So Shane Van Gisbergen gets the win. Leads the most laps, had control of the race for the most part, though I will say he had challenges from Ty Gibbs for sure. Christopher Bell minus 16.567 in second. So Christopher Bell gets a second place finish. Yay for me. I keep the pick point lead, I think. I don't know. Haven't done the math for it yet. Chase Elliott finishes third, 20 seconds off of the leader. Alex Bowman in fourth, 25 seconds off. Then Michael McDowell gets a solid fifth place finish today. John Hunter Nemechek in sixth is 30 seconds off the leader. Then Chase Briscoe, Cole Custer, William Byron, and Chris Busch are the top 10. Ty Gibbs, 40 seconds off the leader in 11th. 12th is Bubba Wallace. Solid run for him. Needed that for the point side of things. 13th is AJ Allmendinger. Mediocre all day with how he, where he was in the field. 14th is Blaney. 15th, Priest. 16th is Chastain. 17th is Eric Jones. Then Austin Cindric, 51 seconds off in 18th. 19th, hometown hero Daniel Suarez. 20th, Tyler Reddick. Just MIA all day for Reddick. Joey Logano, 21st. 22nd, Todd Gilliland. Ryan Truex recovers at least to 23rd today. Denny Hamlin will be back in the car at Pocono, and based on what they were saying, is the favorite going in. Justin Haley in 24th. Brad Keselowski in 25th. Then Josh Berry, 26th. 67 seconds off. 27th, Ricky Stenhouse, 74 seconds off. These are just insane numbers to read. 28th, Austin Dillon, 85 seconds off the leader. Then Riley Herbst, 29th, 30th, Noah Gregson. Cody Ware, last one the lead lap, 100 seconds back. Then you have Catherine Legg in 32nd, a lap down. Ty Dillon, 33rd, comes home a lap down. And a lap down as well for Carson Hocevar, who all I'm going to say is this. I would not blame Ricky Stenhouse if he went and tried to beat his ass. I saw he looked in the car and there's a little beef between them. I would not blame him at all if he just like started just beating the hell out of him. Totally would understand. Zane Smith out of the race in 35th. Kyle Larson gets the fastest lap of the day in 36th, 42 laps off the pace. And Kyle Busch out of this race, 6 laps completed for Rowdy today. And the funny part, or I guess the interesting part about that, is that is the least amount of laps that Kyle Busch has ever finished in a NASCAR Cup Series race. By the way, I appreciate all the super chats coming in, and we will go over those during the super chat segment. So keep them coming if you want different questions read on screen. I promise I have the autograph that I found in my closet. 2 actually, and it's very interesting, people. So I'll talk about that after we talk about the race, at least. But let's talk about this race as the finishing order's there. I probably put somebody's name in there wrong or something like that. So let me know down there. And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. First race I ever went to, Junior drove this car with this hat. So let's go. Let's go from the start and go from there, because Shane Van Gisbergen pretty much stunk up the show, the final stage. And granted, strategy helped. But he started from the pole. And if you just look off of that alone, it's like, okay, yeah, he whipped their ass all day. You know, no one challenge. Boo-hoo. But it was reported during the deal, during the opening laps, like the pace laps, the SVG was actually sick and was like going in for fluids and was not feeling well, had to cancel media availabilities. He was supposed to be on the pre-race show today and he wasn't. He canceled that. Don't know what exactly he had, but I'll just say this might have been his flu race. You know, Michael Jordan has flu game. This might be SVG's flu race. So major props to him gutting it out, for lack of a better term, because he I think went above and beyond where I think a lot of us would have been. I know a lot of people are like, well, what if it was like Tony Stewart? What if it was like a poop race? I don't think it was. I think they would have been able to tell in his fire suit, or maybe not. But he started in the pole, didn't lead right off the bat as Chastain took the lead. Of course, we get a rain caution right off the bat as well. The 2 and the 17 stay out to varying amounts of success, I might add. And by the way, I see a lot of people talking about the SVG win and playoff talk. We'll talk about that as well, because I think that is a big talking point. It should be a big talking point. And I will get to that, I promise. But once they got it back restarted and going, lap 7, we see a big crash. Kyle Busch loses grip on the brakes, heads in the corner, and he plays bowling, takes out the 7, the 5, the 16, involves also Briscoe and Zane Smith. A lot of them not able to improve. Briscoe, amazingly, from this, comes home with the 7th place finish. That's absolutely insane to me. But Busch out of the race. And like I said, 6 laps completed for Kyle Busch is the least amount of laps Kyle Busch has finished in a cup race ever. So one way or another, if you're a Rowdy fan or hater, you did see Kyle Busch history today, just probably not the stuff that his fans would have wanted. And yeah, I mean, if you're happy for SVG winning, by the way, spam Kiwis in the chat. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I'm fine with spam as long as we're not going overboard on like stupid stuff. But yeah, put some Kiwis in there as we go. And from there, it's just sort of like that interesting switch up with the strategies as you go. You have the leaders who are going to be going in to get slicks because the track is starting to dry out. And the damp tires aren't going to be as effective as it goes. And so what that does is it really shuffles a lot of things, and it gets points to a lot of people who otherwise would not have gotten points today. And I find it very interesting because I'm looking through, and there's one person in particular who finished stages, everything like that. He's not going to be doing very good because of SVG winning, but really helps him at least stay within a snapshot of that picture, within a race of points, I would imagine. I do not have the Prime broadcast up right now, so if they show the points, I don't have them. So let me know when I talk about certain people where they're at. But Ryan Preece gets the win of the stage over Blaney, Chastain, McDowell, Todd Gilliland, Jones, Hocevar, Bubba, Elliott, and Suarez. Now, the interesting one I wanted to talk about with this is the guy who he got how many stage points here? 7 stage points in the first one, 6 in the second stage, and he comes home with a 5th place finish? Yeah, Michael McDowell. McDowell supremacy reigns almost supreme in Mexico. Just what did I say? It was like 30 seconds off. Just 30 seconds away, man. 27 seconds, sorry, to be specific. That was, I think, a run that was needed, even without the win, in order to vault him up more with the point side of things. I don't know how he'll run at Pocono next week, but McDowell and Inspire team have shown, Inspire as a whole have shown very good speed, have shown very good results at Atlanta. And you got, of course, Chicago right after that, Sonoma. The next month, just like the last month, was a very good opportunity for Carson Hocevar to swoop in, get a win, get himself into that playoff picture. The next month is a great opportunity for Michael McDowell to vault himself into a contending window. Do I think he'll close it out? No, I think there's some very stiff competition. But I do think that, this is a window for him. Obviously there's other tracks he can get it at, and everyone can get Daytona and all of that. But I think he's somebody worth spotlighting on this, because trust me, we're going to get to the big shakeup we just saw. I promise. But Michael McDowell, somebody I wanted to give a shout out to. He was on the front row starting the second stage. Ty Gibbs was the man in this one. He was the I would say best one in stage two. Stage two, I think, again, kind of what we saw yesterday, kind of what we've seen a lot this year, where stage two is just that part of the race that sort of sets everything up, kind of that lull. And you saw the same thing today. SVG wins the second stage over Bell, Bowman, Blaney, McDowell, Dillon, Austin, that is, Busher, Herbst, Hocevar, Suarez. And I want to give another shout out, or at least talk a little bit about somebody who did not get the result that I think he deserved. And I've not talked about this guy actually much this year. I'm looking, and he finished 29th on the day, but he ran way better than that for most of the day. I would say, based on every time I would look up, it seemed like, he was always in the top 15. 8th in that stage. Riley Herbst actually showed out pretty damn well today. Didn't get the finish, had a clenching moment going across the track, I believe, with 27 to go, where he got turned, I believe, off of the 24. I could be wrong, though. Let me know if I'm wrong. And he tried getting off course, nearly hit Stenhouse in the process. Dumb moment. And I know everyone's going to focus on that moment with Riley Herbst, but I want to be fair and give him at least the flowers I think he deserves for having that good of a run, for the most part of this race. For 80 or not 80, about 70% of this race, Riley Herbst looked like a NASCAR Cup Series driver. And I know people are going to hear me say that and be like, hang the banner. Herbst looked like he should have been there. But for most of the year, Riley Herbst hasn't looked like he should have been there. So you know what? Credit to him. That's improvement. That's what I want to see out of these young drivers who, again, I don't think he should be a Cup guy, but that's what I want to see out of somebody like him. Getting to the final stage here. This is where we're going to talk much more about the SVG stuff. I will talk about others, by the way, too, that should be talked about, but we'll do that a little bit later when I'm kind of doing the check down at the end before we go to the super chat stage. It's not super chat stage break, I guess. It's a super chat cooldown lap. How about that? We call this the super chat cooldown lap at the end of these. So SVG and Christopher Bell, front row of the ensuing restart after the stage, stage 2 going to the final stage. 88 misses the corner, still keeps the lead. Then the 20 gets ahead of him. And so for that point forward, really Bell, SVG, Gibbs, those were the guys today. Those were the guys through and through, in my opinion, that controlled and dictated much of this race. You know, you did have Chastain early on up there. You had some other guys battle at different points. I don't have the laps. I don't know why it hasn't updated on my end. I wish I had like the laps led and everything. But I don't think those stats are up on the raw feed. Maybe they are. Yes, they are. Okay. So 60 laps led, by the way, today. Let's go through these. 60 laps led by SVG, which, yeah, that's on brand. 4 laps led for Bell. Felt like more. He was, again, always up there. 2 for McDowell. 1 apiece for Byron and Busher. And then, of course, 27 for Ty Gibbs, who, in my opinion, had probably the best run speed-wise of his Cup career so far. And nothing to show for it because it just a caution came out at the wrong time. And I already know certain people who are big Gibbs fans who don't like Hocevar, and yikes. It was bad. But Ty Gibbs dug himself in such a hole this year that even the best race of his season, even if he had not overdone it and not fallen back, he's just so far back at this point that he has to win. Nothing else that he can do this year. You know, but the thing is that, you know, as there's these back and forth, as SVG takes the lead from Bell, as Bell's up there, as Gibbs is up there, caution comes out with 36 laps to go. Carson Hocevar is around and based what the broadcast says, stalled out. SVG at this point is worried about a loose wheel that did not happen, just hearing gremlins in the car. But Gibbs gets screwed by this. I believe Gibbs had not pit yet, if I'm not mistaken, which got him back in the pack. I think the best he was able to get back up to was 9th, and then he ended up falling back as the run goes on, finishes 11th. He was, I think, as far back as 12th or 13th before he was able to make a spot or two up at the end. On the Gibbs side of things, that's road course racing. That's road course strategy for you, man. That's just how it goes. It's unfair sometimes. I get that. But you know, it's just there's not too much I can say on that side of it when it comes to just the straight up racing part. Now, when it comes to the Hocevar part, I saw a lot of people throwing it out there about Hocevar maybe waiting a little bit. The SMT data will tell the tale on that one. If he was waiting, big penalty should come for that. That's stuff I think should have moved past. If he stalled it, which it seems like he did based on at least what they were saying, then you know what? Like it sucks and it's the same guy and I get all of those things. But that happens to everybody, man. There's really no other way around that part either. So check the SMT. Yeah, I'm with Noah here. Check the SMT. Because I don't want to, and 2, yeah, like Duke Chronic said, blind corner 2. Do you really want to tell somebody, hey, just try and merge at some point? You know, there's a lot I think that goes into that, and I get people being upset. And I get it's Hocevar, so everybody is on edge and crazy about it. Sorry, I'm just double checking to make sure if anything happens, I don't miss it. I get all that, I get it, but you know what? Racing isn't fair all the time. You know, so we get it back going, 32 to go. It's the 88 and the 20 up front. 88 keeps it and just runs away. I mean, that was the end of it. It was, to me, I actually had a lot of fun with this race. I don't think it was as good as the Xfinity race. And I think the length is probably what did that for me is just The last run there was just it was a straight up run to the end, and sometimes those runs can end up being awesome. Right. I was at the slide job finish at Chicagoland a couple years ago. Everybody remembers a lot of great runs to the finish, like Darlington 03, things like that. But there's a lot of times where the best guy just runs off, gets the win. That's how these races go. Sometimes not every finish, and it's the same thing with championships too. I keep saying this. No one, it seems to always go on deaf ears, but I say it again. Not all races need to have an amazing finish. They don't. If every race's finish was amazing, we wouldn't care about the amazing finishes. So he runs away. The battle is really behind him. It's Bowman and Bell. Alex Bowman, I got to say this. He held off until 15 to go in second position, lost a position to Bell and then to Elliott. I believe stepped aside once he realized he was beaten pretty much. Alex Bowman needed that run. Now, this does not mean that I think Alex Bowman has solved all of his problems because he's good at a road course and had a great run to the finish. No, it's a great part, but he needs to put some more together. He needs to run well at Pocono. Atlanta is the one where it's like, just stay out of a wreck, man. If he finishes 15th, I'm happy with that. Chicago's coming up. That's a track he should be good at. Sonoma, I would think he'd be pretty decent at-ish. Dover, won at before. So I think Alex Bowman has an opportunity here to string a couple races together and really kind of more prove himself that, hey, okay, it was a really bad stretch of the season. They've moved past it and start building up towards the end of the regular season and into September, October. On the other front of that, there was one other thing that happened I talked about before. Hocevar overcooks it with about 12 to go into one of the corners, and he ends up spinning out Stenhouse. I personally think, especially earlier when he had the opportunity to dive bomb Stenhouse and didn't, I think that it was not intentional. With that being said, how many times has Hocevar had these things where he just gets in way over his head or is trying to overdo it and take somebody out? Like, if I'm Stenhouse, like I said earlier, at some point it's just got to be, fists coming out at that point. I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just Hocevar being young and stupid. And I believe at that point he was a lap down too, which is even more egregious and stupid. I again, like Hocevar a lot, but my God, the kid can do some dumb moves, like some just doozy, mind-numbingly dumb moves. And that's the part that like with Hocevar for me, I think he has the potential to be one of the best drivers of this coming generation. The issue is he continuously puts his fucking foot in his mouth, man, and he just keeps doing it. And it's like at some point, you just got to accept the war is over. You lost. Go on to the next one. Like he was a lap down, right? If I'm not mistaken, he was a lap down. Just let everyone by. Coast to the finish. I don't know. Start singing Creed over the radio. I don't know. Do what you do on your streams. But just Stenhouse, to me, has been so good prior to Nashville of putting together a season where he just doesn't make the dumb Stenhouse mistakes we remember him for, right? And that sort of got ruined. And now it's a second straight time that when it gets really ruined. And he's had, I don't remember where exactly. I think he was running like top 15 or 20 or somewhere like that. He wasn't like setting the world on fire, but he's just trying to take it home, trying to get where the car will get him, and that's the best thing. Not trying to overshoot it, not trying to turn a 25th place car into a top 10 car, not trying to turn a 10th place car into a winning car, not trying to turn a 30th place car into a 15th place car. That was Robbie Gordon's problem. Stenhouse had that problem. I don't think he does anymore. It's just, I feel for the guy. I do. He's found his lot of where he should be in the series, has done a great job of being there. And here comes this kid that just plays bowling with his car every other week. I have to admit I'm on Stenhouse's side. I very much am. And especially if you told me that in 2018 when all the Stenhouse memes were the big thing, I would have thought you were nuts. But like I said, SVG runs away. I think by the end, he was like a second a lap faster. I think had he not taken it easy and just made sure the car got home just fine, like the last lap and a half, he probably would have won by about 18 or 19 seconds, which is just freaking nuts, man. But just dominant win. And here's the thing. Let's talk about Shane Van Gisbergen with the playoff side of things, because everyone's talking about it in there. I see you guys talking about it in there. So let's talk about it. Right. The reason that Shane Van Gisbergen is in this car is simply because of today. And people are like, no, duh. Like, he won. But that's the point. Shane Van Gisbergen will, in my opinion, probably never be a consistently top 15 guy on ovals ever in the Cup Series. Maybe even top 20. He won't. Right? He will probably run, and I know people will get upset by this comparison. Ovals wise, non-super speedway ovals, he will probably run about where Danica Patrick ran. Because similar to Danica Patrick, this was not the medium that Shane Van Gisbergen trained for, grew up on, all of that, right? We all understand that coming in. The way the system is, though, and the way that there's no barriers points wise and barriers for performance to get in with a win, Shane Van Gisbergen, all he had to do was win one road course of the 5 in the regular season. I believe it was 5. All he had to do was that. That was the only thing he had to do this year. And I get it. It's a Cup race, easier said than done. He didn't get one last year. He got one in the Chicago race the first year, but he didn't get anything last year. Things get in the way of that. But this is the whole reason that he has been brought over to NASCAR. He is here. He's probably getting paid a good amount of money by Trackhouse. On one end, I have, with the way the system is, he didn't do anything wrong. The rules are the way they are, and he'll be in competing for a championship. And I say competing like that because, let's be honest, he's not going to. He's going to be eliminated the first round. He's a waste of a spot in a postseason. Shane Van Gisbergen is nothing more than a nice little vanity project for the NASCAR playoffs. Like, we all know he's going to finish 16th in points. We all know he's going to be woefully behind everybody unless somebody has like an amazing fall off the face of the earth or Cody Ware gets a win somehow. Like, we all know this is the meta we're going to be in. And so on that end, I believe he was 33rd in points coming in here today, right? Like, somebody can let me know in the chat. Was he 33rd in the points heading in here today? I might be wrong on that one. Just give me a yes or no on that, or tell me. Okay, Brony 24 ever says he was. I'm seeing some others say, yeah, he was 33rd in the points coming in here today. So the guy who's 33rd in the points coming in here today has now put pressure on the guys who are like 12th, 14th range in the points. Because the guy who's 33rd and did not perform at all except for one race is in the playoffs. And people are wondering why the hell they have a committee that is trying to change things and trying to change the format. Like, people, I've seen newer fans who are like, why are they trying to change things? Like, this is why also. Because this, again, Shane Van Gisbergen did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. On the same token, he should not be competing for a championship. I don't think these are mutually exclusive things. I do not blame him for it. I do not blame Trackhouse. Hell, I don't even blame pretty much anyone that wanted to bring him over. Any of that. Don't blame him. It's a cheat in the system, or not a cheat. It's a loophole in the system. The real one I feel bad for is Marcus Ambrose, because he came into NASCAR like 10 years too early at this point. Didn't get enough time to do the same damn thing. He only did it once. I believe it was him that did once, or was it AJ? I don't know. They didn't compete for anything. They were not. I think it was AJ that did it. Doesn't matter. They didn't compete. I am irritated of it. Of a guy who, let's be honest, he does not deserve to compete for a championship. But at this point, I'm just waiting it out for the next iteration of what they do. I just hope it's not winning you're in, or that there's some barrier of performance, because today's race should be celebrated. What SVG did today was a straight up ass kicking on one of the highest degrees I think we've seen. Shit, man, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen a win this big in the distance that the winner beat second place. I mean, 16 and a half seconds. And he was basically just lollygagging the last lap, just making sure he brought it home. Like that's what we should be focusing on today. That's what the SVG talk in the chat should be today. I looked in while we were talking about the race for the last 30 minutes, maybe a little less than 30 minutes. I looked in, and all I see with SVG is people talking about the playoffs, complaining about playoffs. It's the same damn thing with Harrison Burton last year. I'm sick of the playoffs ruining great moments like this. Should he compete for a championship? No. Should we celebrate him winning? Yes. Do I blame anyone except NASCAR? No. I think all of those are very rational and fine takes. Hell, until like 2 years ago with the top 30 rule, he wouldn't even be able to make it in. Now he probably did make up enough spots to get in the top 30. So, that probably could be a moot point, but I don't know, man. We're going to have this conversation probably for the rest of the regular season whenever somebody wins. We're going to talk about SVG. If somebody actually really good misses it, we're going to talk about them not being in because of SVG winning. And it's just going to be this whole freaking cycle as we just go over and over and over again. And we're just going to complain until November. And there'll be people that say they'll never watch NASCAR again. Oh, this and that and that. And then we'll all meet back in February at Bowman Gray and Daytona. That's how it'd be. So a couple, let's do kind of a cleanup here before we go into the super chat cool down lap. Looking at some of the other finishers today, John Hunter Nemechek, a 6th place run for that Legacy Motor Club machine, 17th for his teammate Eric Jones. Not the greatest, but he also had some issues during the day. Legacy Motor Club looks like a legitimate team now. They look like a team that should be out there competing in the NASCAR Cup Series and not just puttering around at the back, crashing all the time. I don't know if it's an enhanced partnership with JGR and Toyota. I don't know if they found something on their own. Maybe they got a leak the same way that RCR did last year. But whatever it is, they're doing something right, and there's a real legitimate improvement in how the 42 and the 43 are running each week. And again, people will, we'll joke about them and hang the banner, a 6th place run. Yeah, okay, that's great. You got to win your way in. A 17th place. But those are the kind of runs you need to keep that improvement going. Each week, one of the legacy cars always seems to be in the top 10. And that is way better than they've been since the first year of their existence in 2022, the way that they are right now. I believe it was 2022. I could be wrong. Briscoe, we talked about him earlier. Great comeback, being a lap down for much of the early part of this race. 7th place finish after being involved in that early crash. They had to go under the hood to make sure that all the components of the car were pretty much okay. Good on him. Custer, 8th place run. Another one that deserves a great shout out. Haas Factory team. When a road course, in my opinion, equalizes a lot of the field, but still leaves it in the driver's hands, and the driver got him up there. A couple others I'm looking through. Ty Dillon, 33rd place finish today. Did not deserve that. Got in some trouble as well. Probably should have had a top 10, honestly. I'll say it. Ty Dillon should have finished in the top 10 today. And this has been the story of Ty Dillon's season, where he does not finish where he runs. Ty Dillon has run the top 10 about 5 or 6 times this year, and he has none still. He has, 16 races we are into this year, or however many it is. I believe it's 16. Give the guy props. I know he's an easy punching bag. I know he's somebody really easy to make fun of. And, Ty Dillon, here he goes, puttering around a 33rd again. But he wasn't today. He was a decent car. He had a decent car, decent drive out there. I think at one point I saw him up as high as 7th off of speed during the wet. hey, that again, that I think that separates driver a lot more. And I think it shows he has a little bit more talent than people give him credit for, myself included at times. Kind of looking through the others, Bubba Wallace, 12th place run. Not very good at the road courses, but he's shown improvement over the last year and a half, 2 years or so, Adam. These are the kind of runs he needs to point his way in. If he's not able to get a win by the end of the regular season, which, to be honest, there's 10 races left. This team gets better once they get into July, August, September. He very well could get a win, but much needed run today. And last one I'll talk about, Ryan Truex, 23rd place finish. The 11 probably should finish higher, but honestly, with how Denny is at road courses, I wouldn't be surprised if this is where Denny ran to if he ran today. There were others that struggled. I mean, Brad Keselowski, 25th. I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. Austin Dillon way in the back, completely shocked. Gregson having issues. Shocking. I will say two I'm shocked by. Not even shocked, just I'm surprised. 21st place finishing Joey Logano. What happened? Like he just was out to lunch today, a lot of this race. And then 20th place Tyler Reddick. That was a mystery to me because I always see him as one of the best ones at road courses. People are always ripping on Elliott, but Elliott has been pretty damn decent in these races. Finished third today. If the run goes any longer, he probably finishes second. And he might have been one of the few people that actually had something for the 88 past the first couple laps of a run. Elliott might win the Chicago street race this year, or Sonoma, or Watkins Glen. Just saying. I think it's something that we should keep it on. We should keep that on the radar of Chase Elliott is still pretty damn good at these road courses and needs a little bit more respect for him. But overall, I think it's a good cleanup on it. Let's go to the super chat cool down lap. That's the running title we'll keep on it for now. And I'll try and make sure I get all the super chats from beforehand. Let's see. Where's it at? I'm seeing other people. Let's see. If there's a caution, do you think Bell or Elliott could have passed SVG? I think Elliott could have. I don't think Bell had the car. I think Elliott could have. Though I don't know if he would hold him off. SVG looked mortal on the restarts. That was the best kind of way I can put it. Let's look at the super chats here. 199 Viva Mexico, 6 out of 10 race. It could have been better from SW for the 2. Timothy Wolf, a 26-month member chat. Nice one. Says that was a good old-fashioned ass whooping. Yes, it was. Calypso for the 5 here says, turns out the rain improved the race. You know who to thank. Yes, you could thank me, I guess. I don't know. I didn't read the romance novel. And by the way, I will show you that autograph as we go through. I'm just going to get these ones from before the stream so that they don't get lost in the queue. Because I don't want people also paying and then not hearing it, because I don't want you guys to feel ripped off either. Raise Hell Praise Dale for the 5 says, I'm not a Trackhouse guy, but it's hard not to like SVG. He's a humble guy and has some serious skills. I hope he sticks around for a while. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the most likable guys in the sport. And anyone who's arguing about that part of it, about him as a person and personality, kick rocks. He's a good, decent human being from all accounts, both on and off the camera, on and off the track. Amazingly talented driver. The sports side of it is definitely what we'll talk about with it. The playoff side, the winning side, what he does on the track. Him as a person, awesome dude from all accounts. 3, Roman numeral 3 with the 2 says, Hocevar killed this race. He did. I have to admit, the intrigue of this race went down with that caution, and that sucked. That was the one thing that really sucked about it. And I don't know why, but for some reason, the super chats on both ends are all over the place because these now are popping up in here. They don't show the Mexican flag on StreamYard, unfortunately, or any flag. But I guess here you go. These ones can pop up on screen. I don't know why it's messing up on both ends, but there you go. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened on this. I apologize. Real quick, I talked about it before. I've kind of teased it all weekend. Um, so I have shown this Jeremy. Hold on. Where do we get there? I have shown this Jeremy Mayfield shirt before. I've worn it before, but I never gave much thought to what's on the back here, all these autographs on it. And so I was, I just moved, and so I was still unpacking boxes and stuff like that. And I decided to kind of look a little more in on it. Like, okay, what's it looking like here? Like, what's on it? And a lot of these are like, local drivers at different places, or drivers in other series, or ones I can't recognize. And you know, I do not fashion myself as somebody who knows everything about every racing series, culture, all that. I'm very good with NASCAR, and that's about it. And I noticed a name here. Now, at first, I thought that there were two drivers on here, but in fact, one of them isn't. It's a driver's wife and then a driver. And I don't know if you can see it very well, right here, right? It's from Francis and Tim Flock. Now Francis is not what Fonty was, meant to be like, or anything like that. It Francis Flock was the wife of Tim Flock. So it's Tim Flock and his wife signed this shirt. And I saw that and I'm like, there is no way that I can just hold on to this and not say something about it live with all y'all. Because I didn't even realize I had this until I looked more into it. I'm like, and I just noticed, I'm like, Tim Flock? And Tim Flock, if I'm not mistaken, passed away shortly after signing this too. Because this shirt is a 98 shirt. He passed away in 1998. I think his wife passed away in 2019. Short way of saying they're not making many of these anymore. But I just thought it was something really cool that I wanted to talk to you guys or show you guys. Not Fonty Flock, because Fonty Flock, I believe, died in the 70s. I gotta double check on that one. And it's also too, I noticed the number was 91, right? And if you remember anything about the 91 on this channel and who would wear and I wear a 91 shirt, you'll also remember Tim Flock was the guy who drove in the car with Jocko Flacco, the monkey. So it's just really interesting. It's kind of a full circle thing where I'm like, damn, I didn't realize I had that after I made a makeshift Jocko Flacco / Tim Flock shirt. Let's see. Did I wash the shirt? No, I will not wash it. I wore it once on a stream for about an hour or so and then didn't touch it since. So just wanted to show that. I thought it'd be something really cool to have on here. Justin Drake here says, let's go. Love the SVG told his crew chief that he knows what he was doing. So just shut up. I mean, he said it in the nicest way possible, but he's also a really nice guy. So, but yeah, that's suffice to say what he said. And God, these are all over the place. There you go. Okay. I'm just making sure that I get these all correct. After that, we got Grizzy Kid for the 20 who says SVG just outclassed the field. Simple as that. I love it. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, he outclassed field, kicked their ass, all that. Whichever way you want to say it, in the fun ways we will. He kicked their ass. It was just nuts. We saw this one earlier from Race Hell Praise Dale. And we saw this one from Roman numeral 3. Let's see. Justin here says, SVG said to the field and Ty almost had me. You never had me. You never had your car. Dominic Toretto, Fast and Furious. Family. Steve-O for the 20. Damn. Thank you. Says 8 out of 10. Today may be the second best day in racing. 24 hours of Le Mans, NASCAR in Mexico, F1 in Canada, IndyCar tonight. That's right. IndyCar is supposed to be on, I believe, in about half an hour or so, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know about y'all. I'm exhausted. Congrats to the Kiwi for the win today. Truly, says loving the swearing ice. Oh, sorry. I don't know why. Am I dyslexic? I don't know why I'm swearing. I don't know. I'll have to put them in the swearing jar. Red Dog says, press F. F for Kyle Busch. Yeah, spam F for Kyle Busch. Is it 8:20 Eastern time? So about an hour closer to. They're in Gateway. You know, if I left now, I could probably make it by the end of the, well, maybe not. It's about a 4-hour drive. Depending on how the race goes or if there's a red flag, I'm actually might have been able to make it by the end of the race if I had left right after the Cup race. I'll say this with Kyle Busch, though. Damn, that looks bad. Kyle Busch has had a few good moments this year and last year, but you know, if there was a better option, he would not be at RCR in 2026. And I fear that with all of that said and done, with him returning there next year, he'll be 41, going on 42 when he leaves. Oh, it might just be time to start working your way down the ranks of the series, because I don't ever see him being super competitive again. I'm just to be honest. Max here says, I'm not thrilled about SVG winning. A guy 33rd in points should not be locked in the playoffs. This playoff system is a terrible look for the sport. This moment should be a feel-good story. It's about what I had said for it, too. That's the boat I'm in. But we kind of knew. When all of us, early in the year made our playoff picks, the majority of us had Shane Van Gisbergen in our picks because of these kind of deals. And most of us thought he wasn't going to run all that well in the ovals either, and he's proven us right there. We kind of all knew this going in. We just have to, the knock on wood thing is that next year, the system that they make, please make it much more season-long merit-based, one way or another. Let's see. GD Shark with the 20. Thank you. Nice profile pic. Says, I'm a huge SVG fan. I was devastated he lost the All-Star race, but I'm going crazy for this win right now. Let's go. I like it. I'm thinking of a shark saying let's go like that. And it makes me laugh. Russ says, dear chat, we can both acknowledge that SVG spanked everyone and that he shouldn't be in the playoffs. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Marky Mark with the 2 says, Busch going into that turn like Heat 5 online lobby. Yeah. Which, by the way, for those of you gamers out there, I did do a video on the Q&A earlier this week that happened. So go check that out if you haven't already, because there are online lobbies in the new game, among a lot of other things. Shameless plug. Also, shameless plug. It's technically this week, but I know it says next week on oh, nope, never mind. I forgot I replaced the graphic already. But this week we're going to be on Danny's channel this Wednesday night, so be sure to be there. Should be a lot of fun talking about all this. Steve-O says, all the Larson Hamlin Joey haters mad at SVG for winning do doubt. I'm not sure what you're getting at, but it's NASCAR fans, so I wouldn't be surprised. Fred Dog for the 5 says, sorry for screwing up the Spanish translation for Busch. I'm at work. It's Busch, by the way. Don't forget to press F, fellas. We got it. It's all good. Beast of Metal for the 10 says, since Prime is doing a full post-race show with in-depth analysis and interviews of the past top 5, have you considered delaying your own post-race stream to avoid competing with that? Nah. It's 5 races, and plus other people do theirs all at the same time afterwards anyways. It's like oversaturated market anyway. And literally after next week, it's going to go back pretty much the way it was before. Plus also, Everyone tells me every time I say I don't watch IndyCar that I need to just have multiple screens. So maybe more people should have multiple screens. I like hanging out with y'all too. The Polish hardware store for the 5 says Cindric did really good in the first half of the race of the races. What the F happened to him in the later part of the race? Good for SVG. I think mix of the strategy plus getting all jumbled up, all that stuff. I think that's really the big, probably the big stuff that happened there. Again, I don't follow every single person point by point, so I could be off. Marky Mark said SVG was looking for the zoom function in his mirror. Can't zoom in on something that's not even visible to the naked eye because it's not even on the same straightaway. Mr. Jim, happy for Shane. Miss the old point system. I'm kind of with you there on that one. Any old point system at this rate, I'm missing. Steve O says difference between Joey making the playoffs and SVG making it is the fact that SVG actually had dominated today and didn't get a Mickey Mouse win. I will say though, Joey Logano was much better last year than Shane Van Gisbergen has been this year. Neither should have been in either playoff, in my opinion. Racel Praisdale for the 5 says props to Dinger for coming back and finishing strong with that piece of shit car after getting dumped in the KB wreck. Underrated performance today. Yeah, I will say, and I probably should have highlighted him, being caught up in that. It's hard to really shout him out for anything big when you look at it. This is the race that everyone thinks he should compete in and win. Cameron says at least SVG dominates at talent-based road courses and doesn't get fluke wins at super speedways. True. Beast of Metal says anyone else knows the description for the Prime Lamar doc calls Jim France the founder of NASCAR. Wasn't aware 3-year-olds led the discussion in 1947. I did not see that. That is great. That is awesome. Got little tykes running moonshine. The Polish hardware store for the 5 says, man, if that caution didn't come out, Gibbs versus Cindric would have been fun. It would have been. And you would have had to add the 88 in, probably the 20, the 9, so much could have happened at the end that didn't. Jason at the 5 says, Hocevar finished worse than Legg, LOL. Yes, that's true. He did. And I'm glad Catherine Legg went through a race without everyone focusing on her for stupid bullshit. Bowman is safe. There are no better drivers to replace him. Yeah, as of now, yeah. But I believe, chat, how long does his contract go through? Is it 2027? And yeah, I'll post Garcia on Twitter later. Awesome. Is it 2027, I believe, is it when his contract runs through 26? There might be somebody next year. I wouldn't, and I'm not saying Kyle Busch. I still think Bowman would be better in that car than Busch. Personally, at this point, just because Busch is he's getting old. Cavs fan with the 2 says the 9 teams starting to look fast and competitive. Now it is a road course, but yeah, I mean, they were able to gain spots on pit road, improve the car as it went. He gets a top 3 finish, a podium finish out of it. Improvement. Again, improvement is what's needed here. T. Griffin for the 2 must be top 20 or 25 in points with a win and in. I mean, I guess that's a fix. I just think the win and in general is stupid. I get it's all about winning and all that and blah, blah, blah. And people wouldn't like, if it was decided beforehand, but that's sports. Sometimes people are just better in general over that span of time. It's why we have so many races in a season, is to see who's better over that course of a season. It's a reason why Ricky Stenhouse was not able to hang over time, because law of averages, luck, better drivers getting better, all of that comes together to beat those guys who shouldn't be in. I already know if we're talking playoff stuff roughly now the same week that we talked about it last year with the Logano thing. Granted, not in as explosively volatile of a way. But if we're talking about this early on, we're going to be talking about the rest of the way until a new one's announced and then comparing it. And if the new one's announced after the fact, maybe that might be what's best for NASCAR. I know they talked about releasing the new format, like, in July or something. I honestly think they should just announce it in January like they always do. Don't make people compare it, especially if it is a noticeably better one. But we're going to be talking all about it, man. We're going to be talking all about it the rest of the way. But hey, I want to thank you guys for coming on in. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And I appreciate everybody wishing me a happy Father's Day, since it's the first one that I can be out here and celebrating. Mama and kiddo are, I think, sleeping right now, though it's been an hour I've been in here, so maybe not. But I will see all of you on Wednesday night. Subscribe if you're new. We do this after every race, whether it's versus Prime or on its own. We do it after every single Cup, Xfinity, and truck race. We are doing more pre-race streams too. Lots of streaming on this channel. And of course, there's NWP Wednesday night, this Wednesday on Danny B's channel. Be sure not to miss it. We should have a guest this week. And if not, we got Michael Roots coming on the week after. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. Cannot wait to see you there, and enjoy your night, everyone. Later.